So we're on a pay jump right now also, right?
I think 14
Normally
is the
there would be. The pay jump would be between 16 and 15, and I can confirm that the next player out gets 62,150 euros, and then 15th gets just shy of 75 grand.
So we've got Moene and Metaal here. At the other table, there's another, what, 10 big blind stack, right?
Barbosa's pretty short, yeah.
So that's going to have some wonky ICM implications, I think, for the next little while.
Yeah, will affect opening ranges, will affect post-flop play, or it should do at least.
Round to Govert Metaal on the button. Queen 8 suited.
2-6, maybe.
Now with him as the absolute shortest, Nick.
Yeah, he might be tempted to shove here, maybe put in a little
not
raise.
shove.
Huh. Another one of his committing raises, though.
Right,
250K.
King 9 again. That just a little raise would actually weird me out a little bit.
Pocket fours, though, for Zabotodschi.
Yeah. We are all in.
Shoves on Metaal, who calls it off, and Metaal actually gets it in 50-50. He's flipping here.
Yep, fake flip for sure.
And a flip that he needs to win to survive.
Big blind and spin it.
Sailboat's currently ahead. And a slight statistical favorite.
Where are you from?
Holland.
Holland. Oh, you're one of the Netherlands crowd. India.
Like Holland
India
versus the
really nice
Netherlands.
India is not Holland.
Just a one heart.
Okay.
Metaal, with the paired board though, does have additional outs. Queens, 8s, and 10s working from him. Would love to pick up a flush draw on the turn.
He's got the back. Say good hand. Say good hand. Say good hand.
I do it for the.
You have to say good hand back. Say good hand back. India, say good hand.
Good.
Ah, that is going to seal his fate, though. That's a full house on the turn for Zabotodschi, and Govert Metaal is eliminated in 16th place.
Good game.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
So Metaal cashes for 62,150 euros. We are down to 15 players. Everyone is now locked up more than 74K. Action's been folded to Moene, who's got ace-5 in the hijack.
160.
Then raises to 160.
Raises to 160,000.
3 folds, 4 folds,
Fold.
5 folds.
Moene not slowing down here, guys. You'll notice the ace-5 offsuit from the hijack here is not exactly loosey-goosey, but it's not super tight either. Big blind will defend, though, with that suited 6 tray.
Heads up.
Oh. Okay, pair of 5s against a flush draw.
Drama.
Another post-flop flip.
Yep, live cards and the flush draw and the gut shot once again. Pretty much the same number of outs as the previous post-flop flip.
Continuation bet from Moene, 110,000.
And I think we're just going to see a check raise all in here, guys, or at least a check raise for the effective all in. Just 12 big blinds behind Moene. Pot is already a substantial chunk of that stack. SPR is a little bit less than 2.
5 raises.
Yep.
Sorry, 6 raises. 275.
If you're not semi-bluffing this, then what are you doing with your life?
Song has raised it to 275K.
Should have made that a prediction. Seems like a really, really awesome spot. Seems like one you want to take every time. Definitely can get better to fold, and you have so much equity.
Moene moves all in.
Wowee.
And Song feels priced into call.
This is wild.
Does have the straight draw to go with the flush draw. 11 outs, 11 cards working for Stephen Song.
Wow.
And if he hits one of those outs, Moene is KO'd.
Yeah, Moene does really well here to
Classic
get the chips
raise.
in good, although we can see it is a post-flop flip regardless.
Wow.
Two
Wow.
very
Wow.
tough competitors here.
Like, I'm not smart enough, but like, you have some of his outs, he's got some of your outs. Like, very nice. Very...
Turn card is the 7 of spades. That is the flush for Song, and that is the end of Yellow Moene's run in the EPT Barcelona main event. That 15th place
wow,
finish.
The 6 versus the 5, my God.
655.
Worth the better part of 75K. Indeed. So just to recap what's happened so far, Stephen Song open to 300K and has been 3-bet by Boris Kuzmanovic. Both with the same hand, ace-king. Song all in.
Holy shit.
Call. Wow.
Oh,
How many
boo.
big blinds have they got in here?
Okay, I had Jack 10, so let's see what would have happened.
Who's got two
You
suits?
got
I
the
have
cover.
2 suits. I have 2
Yeah,
suits.
he has this, it's okay.
Jack 10. Okay. So you're...
Let's get in 100 bigs each with ace-king.
I think everyone should
If
say what they
something
folded so that we know who really would have won this
Let's
pot.
hope not.
Yeah.
So
This would be a bad
cool
way to
with
go.
chopping
This
it
would
up.
be a bad way to go.
this is the biggest pot of the tournament
Run
so
twice,
far.
right?
There's no way.
Arguably,
Without looking the
Still
board.
get quartered, you know.
arguably unnecessary.
Arguably, ICM is for poor people.
And most of the time, this is going to end
10
in a
for my
chop.
first pair.
Oh! No!
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 I can't look.
No!
Nobody wants this.
We're all saying no.
Even Song doesn't want it like this.
What a sick sweat for Kuzmanovic.
Okay.
Even Song is embarrassed.
He doesn't even want it. I feel like you don't even want it.
That'd be unfair.
Say nice hand or something to save yourself.
No diamond on the turn. A non-diamond sees a song.
Never easy.
It really is.
And a diamond also sees a song.
The river card is not a diamond.
Wow.
I was nervous.
Yeah, I saw, I saw.
Fair, that'd be
So,
Jack 10 with the
I felt that. I felt that you don't want to win this like this.
That would have been bad juju. Like you would have won, but like it would have been bad.
he did not win. Instead, it was a chop pot. You know
And
what
then
they
if I didn't
say.
win the tournament,
Everyone loves a chop pot,
The luckiest
especially
the
Boris
first.
Kuzmanovic at this exact moment.
And then check it.
16 big blinds on the button with the king jack. Just gonna shove it in and hope to get some folds, but we got the ace king.
Doddapaneni's run it. Stephen Song's ace king, and we are going to have a domination situation here. Now taking his time, he's in the small blind. He's got Kuzmanovic to act behind him. I've now got people watching the stream with the exact number, Jack. They seem to have done their mathematics quicker than you have.
9 is the number.
Yes, that's the number I've got as well from most people
5
watching.
sounded low. I feel
Wow.
like I've commentated 5 of
I
your
don't think I've
6
been
plus
on
figure
the board
scores.
either.
Well, you know how wrong I was. I don't have an 8-figure score because Taiwanese dollars are not Korean dong. They're or Korean dollars or
Yeah.
Vietnamese dong.
Yes,
It's
but
actually
since you have, like,
just
been
another
covered by, like,
useless 7-figure score in Taiwanese dollars, which is about 30K US.
So very big spot here for Doddapaneni. Quite unlucky to find the king jack on the button and
Yeah.
to see yourself totally dominated by Song. Gonna
Do this
be
cute
looking
thing
for
with your
some
dimples.
jacks or some
Congratulations.
goofy hearts, maybe a fun little
The
8,
pucker
9,
on
10
the
flop. There are ways, but only
like the
26% of them.
duck lips. I tend to do that a lot.
Yeah, I used to do it.
9.
Ace-king holding.
I'd love to see a 7 or a 9 or a jack here. Queen would also give you some more outs. Woof.
No additional outs. 3 jacks.
It's easier to look over there.
Shahasha,
TV up there.
Doddapaneni
Yeah.
Really?
will be eliminated unless there's a jack on the river.
Oh, you already gave up. Gave up for flops.
He just did it.
No jack.
Bye. Nice playing with you.
He busts and cashes for 89,550 euros. We're now in six-figure score territory with 11 players remaining.
Kuzmanovic
I guess there were not many decks being sold
has
during
raised
the
with Jack 9. Ronnie folds Queen 9 suited. Kovalski, King 10 in the small.
Moene says Bristol is the Tulsa of the UK.
There's a good one in here, too.
Sometimes. He's not doing well. He's not doing well.
Someone said, oh, I guess people in Bristol must actually have a sense of humor if they're not going to your show.
Oh, wow.
Really wordy. Yeah.
And the event.
This is fine, whatever.
One
Zabotodschi
behind. No, 1-2 behind.
Bless
1-3 behind.
No, he's not.
defending
Poor guy.
10-7.
3.
Getting a little
10,
short.
Jack, 6, 2 spades.
You know, definitely the type of flop where you might want to take your equity. I mean, it's kind of rough to have second pair here, but you know, I don't know, Nick. Do you often defend with this hand off of a short stack and then find a lot of folds?
I'm with you, Maria. I feel like this one just goes in the bin, especially with the ICM pressure we've seen. I mean, 11 left. You're so close to a final table in Barcelona. I just feel like it's okay to let some of these go. But having said that, with the big blind ante, that does really widen your range up. So honestly, this might still be like a chips defend. With the ICM, though, not entirely certain. How do you feel about the call here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, again, I agree with what you're saying, and it is just one of those spots where, like, yeah, if you flop a piece, you're
By the
probably
way,
going with it. And
this is no longer just to defend.
yeah.
This is Zabotodschi checked. Kuzmanovic made it 175. Zabotodschi all in
Like Queen 9.
and
clubs.
snapped off by the top pair of Kuzmanovic. Zabotodschi
Good.
at risk here. Gonna have to get lucky. He really didn't want to answer that question. So will you fold your payout money or will you crumple it all up?
Good luck, Ukraine.
Good luck, man.
Here we go. 8 on the turn. It's an interesting one.
Who wants to
Changes
pick
the
2
outs
pair?
around a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I take the 6 for 2 pair. Oh, okay.
Don't look. Don't look.
It's not working today.
He understood the assignment.
I don't think he's doing
It
it
was
for the
looking for
equity.
that
I think he's getting a head start out the door.
Yunkyu? Well, that's because he gets getting
River
it
is a
ahead.
3. That's it.
GG, man.
Yuri
Yeah.
Zabotodschi
So I assume we move someone here.
Yeah.
Good game, man.
Who
exits
gets, like,
in
do we
11th
get Daniel
place, taking home 107,450 euros. All right, here we go. Couple of Lady Kings for Fournier. Rania flatting the 2-8s in between the raise of Kuzmanovic and the action of Fournier.
Ronnie building a literal house of cards
that I'm used to clickbuster.
with those time tanks.
It's harder with these weird 25 chips. Yeah.
And you see, you know,
Weird blind
with
level.
ICM how unwilling the queens are to bloat this pot multi-way out of position. Just calls pre.
Are we finally going to see Rania run into it? I mean, we saw Rania get kind of out of line with a couple of 7s earlier today, and nobody had anything to play back at her. Here, she takes the more cautious route with the 8s, but doesn't have much help here on this board so far.
I got a hypothetical for you, Maria. If Kuzmanovic opens, cut off, Rania calls on the button and Fournier does squeeze, do you think 8s are still coming along at the stack depth? Because Nasreddine and Fournier, about 50 big blinds, 55 big blinds effective, something like that.
75.
Do you think the 8s kind of call to try and flop that set?
I don't think so. I don't think you should. I don't know. I mean, gosh. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be sizing dependent, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But I think I would probably fold. I mean, you have the chip lead, or I guess second chip lead, so that's obviously something to consider, that you have your opponent covered. But I don't know. I think it's close.
I think with ICM, it would be so interesting to compare the two spots, because if this was final 5, you'd imagine we just have enough behind to just go and set mine, right?
Yeah.
Or potentially get the 8s to showdown somehow. That's obviously part of the equation as well.
Rania does pump the brakes a little bit after being checked to on the turn. 3-ball on the river.
Yeah, she can't really like the double paired board against the big blinds range, right? She doesn't really expect to be beat by something like queens. She actually expects more for Fournier to have like a 6x or a 5x here. I mean, to be fair, there are some misdraws. I mean, she does block the 8-7, right? So I think that that's helpful in terms of, maybe if she wants to fold in this spot. She doesn't block flush draws, though. But like a 7-4 got there on the river. So this is definitely something she could consider getting away from.
So far, she's considering counting out the 800,000. Rania makes the call. Sees the bad news.
I think she's just probably pretty happy she didn't lose more. I mean, on certain turn cards, she might have just barreled again.
Seems pretty good for Lodge. Domination continuation.
94% on the flop for Lodge. The turn is
Queen of clubs.
Did you have a 10?
Apparently, there's 4 live 10s.
Yeah, they're still all in the deck, David.
Just has to fade them, and he doubles up.
Wow!
Oh my goodness.
Not like this. Not like this.
Gross.
And that is the end of Harry Lodge.
You win.
Out in 10th. Sorry, I'm a little shell-shocked from that. I'm feeling it.
Jeez.
Gets it in so good. Flops good. Turn not great. River, disaster.
Some people have all the luck. What can you do?
Well, when Joe and I did those retro streams, looking back at old tournaments, we discovered the first player to discover ICM, or as he called it, Wasiel's theorem. A player at some LAPT event in 2007 who literally folded his way down to 1 big blind, but managed to ladder up 4 spots.
Legend.
It's a very different life.
Wow. And look at these packet rackets.
Yeah, and Stalo will get out of the way.
Coleman looks semi-interested.
Yeah, you just always, getting dealt these beautiful hands.
What does Vamos mean?
Let's go.
Let's go? Okay.
Oh, wow. I'm shocked at this, actually. I mean, Coleman's a top player, so let's defer to the young American. He's picked a very inopportune time to call with the Queen-9 suited.
I have 2 boys.
And does catch a piece.
Oh.
Yeah, I got those backdoor hearts, backdoor straight draw as well, but
checks back.
Yeah.
5 of clubs on the turn.
Yeah, and if you remember a moment ago, he played ace-queen very honestly, checking back as the pre-flop raiser on the king-high board when he missed. And Coleman might want to just put out some money here to protect against overcards. Can even imagine getting called by a 9-8, optimistically, and ace-4, pocket sevens. But really, you know, just to get value from ace-king high, will check again, realizing that he has to play cautiously versus the bigger stack. And now Lin Xianwei will bet out on the sizable side. And I don't think Coleman can imagine that kings, queens, or jacks would check this board. Maybe pocket tens. I wouldn't have even imagined aces would have checked that often. And so, seems very hard having flatted, presumably because we feel that Lin is opening somewhat wide. And big river incoming here. A brick could spell trouble for Coleman. Oh my days.
That card is mustard for Coleman.
Absolutely remarkable river card. And if I were Lin, he's relaxing. He's not sure.
Seen some tight checkbacks from Lin. This feels like,
I mean, this is another problem with checking the flop is you can't go for value. I mean, it would be remarkable if he could check. We can picture
he checks back so many of his hands, but not this one.
Yes, and he bets out 600K, and Coleman, I don't think, is going to let him get away with showing down for this price.
No, we're going to play. We're going to play for more. We're going to play for 2 million, maybe everything. 2.7 million back for Coleman, 2.4 out there. Surely you would have expected King Jack to either maybe bet the flop or bet a bit bigger on the river, unblocking the board with the nut straight.
Yeah, Coleman going to go for the lot. It's worked out incredibly favorably. He who dares wins. Coleman just balancing. A lot of money in the middle. One of the most talented players in the United States of America. Looking like he's straight out of Risky Business. Go on, David. Sets one chip aside and raises.
$2.2 million?
Yeah, leaving himself back as he would want to do, a few chips back as he would want to do were he bluffing. And Lin sits up straight in his seat.
Oh.
A shocking turn of events for our Chinese competitor. And he's going to require some time banks.
Well, so those are his last two time bank cards.
Yeah, and one problem with aces is you don't really interfere with the value here. If the value comes from sets, 2 pair, and King Jack, aces is actually not doing much for you.
Yeah.
It's very hard to fold aces, such a strong hand. You've played it deceptively, sort of maybe under-repped your hand with the check on the flop. But when all the money goes in here, don't we want a piece of the board?
Last time bank. We remember he ran out yesterday. Those new ones today.
Last time bank card, so he's got to make his decision within 30 seconds. He's called it.
Wow.
Well, that result for David Coleman is quite remarkable.
Stato alluding to the fact that the sort of short stacks keep taking from the big stacks.
Yeah.
Leading to this very condensed stack constellation. 9 players at the table, 20 the shortest, 61 the biggest. No, I mean, it's a pretty dominant position for Steven Song, but, you know, sometimes you get these 100 big blind stacks.
That's what you do with this braggy. You fold it.
Song actually been on the right side of the distribution, right? I mean, he's played well, but had kings, ace king a couple of times, made his straight with king jack.
Ooh.
Yeah, and again on the button, 54 bigs. Similar to how we saw Lin play the pocket queens. Kuzmanovic not wanting to necessarily get all the money in pre, will just flat. Will be confident navigating with position.
So I have a little question for you, Sam. You know, in the case of that 7-5 of hearts,
You have like 8
obviously,
million?
you know, pure fold, I
Exactly
guess. But
like the total,
the
maybe
reason I
small.
ask is because with the
Yeah,
bigger
8 million
small
change.
blind, the 100K
Okay.
small blind, effectively it's just like calling a min raise. I mean, you have to obviously be concerned about the big blind squeezing, but in the big blind, you would be calling with the 7-5 suited. It's only an extra 50K more.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't play full way. You don't realize your equity. You can't value bet effectively.
Right.
You can't lead boards. So they always let cards come off. Yeah, it's
Now, if you saw your big blind opponent starting to like try to fold out a turn there,
no. I mean, I would just wouldn't. Look at the hands. I mean,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
just have really good hands.
yeah.
Yeah, and so Song will go for check. Ace king. Sometimes a hand. There are circumstances where we bluff it, but often we don't bet because we don't want to fold out ace queen or king queen. No pairs will fold on this board. So a C bet doesn't accomplish much. And Steven Song, you know, gonna, even playing with Boris a short time, you can tell this is a top player. Gonna give him credit and realize that perhaps hands as strong as Jack's are in his range. And Steven Song's run good will continue.
Sick.
Yeah, and Kuzmanovic not pleased to see the king on the turn.
We've hit the break, by the way. This will be the last hand of the session.
2 flush draws in play, but we do have both jacks. And
You taking the mics?
sometimes diamonds or hearts
break
play
or
a
leave
different
one?
way. And so realizing you
I'd
can't
rather
go
take
for
it off,
3
that's all
streets,
right,
we'll
but I
just
don't mind
check
if
back.
he wants
And the river comes a 10. And Steven, it's a very interesting situation now. Obviously, Boris's betting range not composed exclusively of 10s. There's 9s, and as we see, jacks in there. But going to mean that, well, let's see what Steven proposes to do with his ace-king. Might mean that we want to dampen the sizing somewhat.
Yeah, and also, you know, I guess sort of price set the times you are against a 10. I mean, Kuzmanovic could certainly have ace-10 suited, be betting this flop, checking back turn, and when you bet 450,
yeah, and
you get
now,
raised, you can pretty comfortably fold, right?
And now Kuzmanovic with a dilemma. Seems like having both the flush draws blocked is a problem. Probably rather have 2 blackjacks.
Yeah.
Does Steven ever value bet worse for this small sizing? I don't think so. So where does he pull his bluff from? Ace queen? Does that take this line? Or is that willing? And it's a nice, nice fold from Boris. Really
Both times.
excellent play.
Lin Nasreddine, pocket 10s.
Ooh. It's a nice hand to have.
Pretty nice. Rania in the big blind with 5 tray suited is going to defend it. 1.1 million in the middle. Rania is going to need a lot of help to to run down these 10s. That's some help. That's a lot of help. Has turned it from a 20% equity shot to nearly half. John Way is wasting no time firing on this flop despite the 2 overcards, despite having no spade. And Rania is raising. Not a very big one.
Really good timing here, though. Obviously putting the 10s in a really tough spot. John Way.
What do you... This is great.
Wow.
This is great. 3 bets to 1.8. Okay, so he's not making the call. Obviously. What is that, just a call for Rania?
Oh, sorry.
You were trying to call.
I was just trying to call. Yeah. I pushed, okay. Sorry.
That looks like more than a call, but
You see what happened?
probably
I
not
put one
enough
chip
for a
out
raise.
and then I pushed more. I was trying to call.
I think it is going to be a call either way, but I think you had one less black chip out.
A funny way to do it.
Sorry, I thought this was...
Yeah.
We know her,
raise.
Okay.
Her intention, right, was
Okay.
to call. But
He made what?
She called.
I was trying to call.
What do you do in that spot? Do you be adamant of what you were trying to do, or just be quiet and let them make the ruling?
probably the latter for me personally. But, you know, you just can't really control some things in the moment, and maybe... Ooh.
How in the heck? How in the heck do you turn the other pair there? I mean, I think a bluff probably would have worked here. A bluff all in.
I mean, interesting that Rania doesn't just check to the aggressor and just let him do the work for her here. Once you got raised on the flop here, Maria, like, I guess they're going to have a bluff, or they're actually going to have the hand, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, I think 10s aren't great in the sense that you block King 10, right? You block some of the potential straight draws that might have raised, you know, maybe 10-9. Not everyone is going to check raise those hands, but I'm just saying, you know, the initial action was bet, raise, 3-bet, call, and so
like a boss.
I wanted a call.
the thing is she looked very earnest on the flop, right? When she said that she looked kind of panicked, that she didn't want to put more chips in.
Right.
And then all of a sudden she shoved on
yeah.
the turn. So, you know, that's very interesting, I think, to John Way.
It is pretty shallow. Pertea, ace-7 suited in the small blind. Time to make like the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and ship it. Huh. Just a call. And Kovalski's got pocket eights. So I assume this is feeling like a limp trap type situation for Pertea. I don't really see him folding. Kovalski raises the Snowmen's. He's got Pertea covered.
Does Pertea just want to ship this now, Joe? We've seen him doing quite a lot of calling pre-flop, though, so far.
I guess given ICM, maybe I was a little presumptuous with the pre-flop small to big ship. There are several shorter stacks. I'm a little excited.
Yep. And Kovalski's going to run this one for sure. There's no chance he's folding eights here. He's going to be crushing too many hands that want to make this move.
Although if you don't want to get it in here, this 3-bet is interesting.
Kovalski's all in.
All in.
Not getting away from eights. Pertea makes the call. All right,
Wow.
it went all in
Okay.
pre-flop, but it happened the hard way. Kovalski is the favorite.
I'm on the Brazilian. Sorry,
Pertea is at risk.
Covers. Sorry? I think Brazil covers. A7's at risk.
He does.
He doesn't.
You don't. Brazil does.
Yeah, it has to. get to hear the Brazilian.
Brazil calling for the Ocho in this, the year of Romania. 9, 9, 5, 2 hearts.
So you're saying there's a chance, Joe?
A 43% chance. Which means 43% of the time, Pertea is going to win this 100% of the time. Let's see the turn. It's the ace.
Oh, such a rough spot now for Kovalski. It's not over yet, though.
So doesn't have to worry about the 8 of hearts because any 8 will make Kovalski a full house. But even still, there's only 2 8s left in the deck. The river's a 10. Pertea doubles up. Kovalski is going to be on fumes. Year of Romania.
Folds to our ultra super extreme short stack. Fabiano Kovalski, 4 big blinds. He has king 5 offsuit. This might be enough to run it, guys. Needs to find a double. Cannot wait too much longer or will end up being forced all in very soon, or effectively so. Just giving it a few seconds just to decide what the deal is here. But I think we're going to run this one. I don't imagine he has much fold equity, but can get called by worse and double up and get back in the game. It could also be an effective all-in here, Joe. Yeah, I was going to say, actually, give it some thought here. The effective all-in might actually work in his favor because, again, we see this. It doesn't happen too often, but if he can leave himself just a few bigs behind, even one, and then there's some extreme collision behind, he can still get away from his hand and find a significant ladder without being at risk. Rania wakes up with jacks.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so Rania has about 19 big blinds. I would be all in here if I was Rania, no messing around. You definitely do not want any action from behind. There it is. And the players to act behind are going to need to wake up with something very strong to want to tangle here, guys. Could be a ladder situation for them as well, even if they are deeper stacks, some of them. And all in a call. Kovalski going to have about 30% in this pot. Rania is sweating this moment.
A really big spot for her. Kovalski without much to lose. He's been here before. He'll be here again. Sensory overload. Trey, 4, 8, 2 diamonds.
Rania doesn't want to look, Joe.
She's not going to be able to hear a reaction either, given all that singing going on. Although she'll know it if a king hits. She doesn't have to worry about diamonds. A couple of straight cards on board that connect with that 5 occasionally. Turn is the 7. That does put a gut shot out there. Kovalski needs to hit a king or a 6 to survive. The rest of the deck belongs to Nasreddine. The river is a queen. That's a safe card for Rania. Fabiano Kovalski bubbles the official final table.
And for the second
consecutive EPT in a row, Lin Nasreddine has made it to a final table of the main event. That is huge.
That is huge. That is official.
Year of Romania, Joe. No, Year of the Rania.
Fabiano Kovalski taking it like a pro. Smile on his face. Still a six-figure score, 139,750 euros, and we've lost our first player in close to 4 hours. Well, if ace-5 suited was good enough, what do you say about the ochos? You know what the luckiest number is in China, by the way?
8.
The number 8. Pocket 8's very lucky, but is going to run into the aces of Andrew Hume. Now, Andrew does not have Jean-Wei covered. So Jean-Wei can't go broke to this particular player, but there is a lot of action still behind. Hume with 9 big blinds. Does make the call.
We called all
Call.
Pertea. Oh, he was just a little confused with the action. I thought he had a real decision.
You were getting everyone excited. Maybe double.
Rania out. Boris.
Oh.
Also folds.
Chinese guy with 8s. I am concerned.
Aces is covered.
All right, bad look like for Jean-Wei. Conan O'Brien.
Aces is covered.
Aces are
Hume, the big favorite to survive.
Eights covers 8. Yeah, yeah.
8s are covered.
Can we make this any more complicated?
If 8s
Or like confusing?
do not run down the aces, they'll flip-flop chip positions. 10, queen,
That's
6, all
pretty
clubs.
clean living.
That,
Wow.
as stated, that is pretty clean living. 1 out for Jean-Wei. We did see this 1 outer spike earlier in the Barcelona festival.
Yep, drawn pretty thin now.
Improves to out.
Yeah, double his odds.
Okay, we're back to having both 8s.
1 to 2.
Since it would make a full house flush irrelevant.
That's right.
You don't see that very often.
Yeah, that's a rare one.
The river. Aces hold.
2.475, I think.
Oh, the 1 clap reminds me of my stand-up days. And by stand-up days, I mean 2 days ago. Double up Andrew Hume.
The rail's not here.
They are here.
They
just don't care.
Now we see Lin Jianwei down to 6 big blinds.
And Andrew Hume goes from 9 to 22.
Yeah, nice spot there for Team GB.
Oh, you can do it. It's fine. It's all going. Thanks, Alan.
A lot of smiles from Lin throughout the course of this tournament, but you can understand why there wouldn't be one now.
Button is now
He's got to be really proud of how he's performed, though, throughout the last couple days.
How much you have now?
Great
How much
performance. Excellent to reach, the final table.
1.675.
Open.
Yeah.
Change somebody.
I can change.
You're fucked either way.
Next time for free. You give me 125. Okay. Great.
Where the FK is Stato's rail? British lads out there need to get down there ASAP. I guess Hume is Stato. Forget about Stato. What about Quato? The guy from Total Recall that has the adult baby living in his stomach.
There was also a Rick and Morty episode about everyone having quados.
Jean-Wei is going to jam under the gun. Jack 10 suited. That's a fun one. Was going to be facing the big blind the next hand. I'll allow it.
Can I get a count?
And Ronnie here with the opportunity to potentially get into it against the Jack-10 suited.
Is that all in two?
Two still players
You win
in
that
the
too?
hand behind.
He win, give.
Now he's laughing again. I love him.
That's the gift. That's the gift.
He's like the Chinese Fabiano Kovalski.
Ronnie is not super deep stacked here, Joe. I don't know if this is a spot we should be taking, to be honest. You're in a great position. You're never going to be miles ahead of Jean Wei here, at least not that often, I imagine.
Rania does make the call.
Does have the best hand.
Small blind out.
Should have an ace.
Big blind out as well.
Bad.
Very live.
That's going to be better than she's expecting, it sounds like.
Yeah, very live indeed.
She wants that
It's a
line.
big portion of Rania's stack. This will take her down to 17 if she doesn't hold. This is a flip, though, guys. Look at the percentages.
All right, with the stack.
Potentially a 55,000 euro flip.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know the spot that well. I don't want to say that I think this is too loose because I just don't know, but she has certainly found a spot with the best hand. It's just by what percentage you want to have here. What's your average edge that you're looking to have when you make calls from this position with two players back behind?
America. Team America. America and
Let's see if Run Good Rania can hold. It's a 6 and a king and a 10. You think he likes it?
I think he likes that 10, Joe.
I think he likes the 10.
Supposed to say nice hand now.
You want to win the pot? You should.
Nice hand.
顶住，我们 Chinese said 顶住。
Fantastic.
City Oz.
Turn
Okay.
is a jack.
More Oz. Walk. More Oz. Okay.
4 outs for Rania.
Equity went up, down.
Otherwise, Jean Wei survives
Anyway,
and
okay.
doubles up. This dude is a boss.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
The river.
Oh, no! No! He slaps his hand down on the flop.
Rania spikes the gut shot.
She's gone.
Jean Wei splashes the entire board. I have never seen that in more than a decade on the EPT.
You guys called for the king.
And typically I'd call poor form, but man, was that fun.
About to be up in
Unbelievable stuff.
Lin Jean Wei
reasonable position.
goes out with a flourish. Run Good Rania lives up to that nickname.
Bye-bye.
It's either that or final 6, gang.
Sorry. One more elimination would also
4.3.
end the evening. Pocket kings for David Coleman.
This is a top 3 hand, Joe.
Top 5 for me, but let's not split hairs.
Agree to disagree. Moving around the table now. Does Coleman
Oh,
get the
this
action?
is great. This is a great comment from Fabi. It's crazy because this woman will probably never, ever have a run like this year in her life again and will probably lose all her bankroll. Guess what, dude? This is 2 final tables in a row.
In a row.
In a row. Back-to-back events. Get out of here.
Oh, man. Fournier going to defend the big blind here with ace-8 suited.
Anyway, you're banned.
Does call, and we are off to the flop. 6 of diamonds, 5 of spades, 8 of diamonds, guys. Fournier's only got 16 big blinds behind. Is this a get-in situation versus the overpair?
It's certainly not going to be a check, bet, fold.
And Coleman's probably going to want to size up on this board, Joe, on this very, very wet texture that very much favors the big blind range. When they call pre-flop, you want to put the pressure on, make them pay for those very, very
big draws that they're capable of having in this scenario. Do we go like half pot, or is it more with kings? This is interesting. King of diamonds in hand, I suppose, changes some stuff.
I mean, the sick part is that Fournier is probably begging for a bet here, and he got it.
Yep.
More
So
than half pot.
it is just a smidge over half.
$2 million in the middle now. Fournier with 2x pot behind.
All in.
Does it for him. Coleman double checks his hand,
Gotta
makes
call.
the call. Fournier is in big, big trouble. 5 outs, Fournier.
This is a huge spot, Joe. And actually, if you're going to run into a combo here, ace-8's one of the best ones to find, right? You don't want to be running into 2-pair plus. You don't want him to have huge draws with the 7 and the diamonds.
And you're shoeless. And we're shoeless.
71% to another elimination and 71% to chipping up and getting to the final 6.
We're talking about a 70,000 euro pay jump as well.
I'll let them have their shot.
Coleman, the big favorite to turn the lights out.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, man.
What a weird card.
He needs a spade.
Not a good card for Coleman, despite what it looked like. Fournier's outs multiply. Can now catch those spades.
Which one?
The river. Not a spade.
Come on!
But it is a full house for Coleman. Trip 8s, no good. And that will do it for this day in EPT Barcelona history. Rania, hands on her face, can't believe it. David Coleman putting the last competitor to bed.